Some people have seen where God has brought you from. They don't really understand it. They don't know your story.
You don't know my story. You don't know
the things.
You don't know the things that I've come through. You cannot imagine. Pain, the trials I've had to bear. You don't know my story. You don't know the day he
I was at
my lowest point.
We basically, like my mom, dad, they good parents. They was very functional. They went to work. They did whatever they had to do for their children. And just happened so, I guess my aunt, she thought it wasn't right. So she basically was the one that put us in foster care.
Now, was there anything going on in the household?
Nothing was going on in the household. Like my parents, they disciplined us when we did things wrong. So they were still like functional. They just liked the party.
Okay. And when they party, did they do anything that your aunt felt put y'all in jeopardy? Any violence, any drugs, anything?
No, what happened was my aunt actually used to party with my mother.
Right.
And what happened was my aunt, she went and got saved and she started living her life differently, even though she was functional, working at clubs and bars. But she did a whole 360 and she went to church and she got saved. And as she got saved, I guess her vision and everything changed. So what she seen my mother doing, like leaving us in the house, even though my sister was old enough to take care of us, because she was my older sister. We all 2 years apart.
Okay.
So my oldest sister is about 34. She about 34 years old. And at the time, she was a teenager. But my aunt just felt as though leaving us in the house, you know, all night or whatever wasn't right. So she got DHS involved. And with DHS, they took us, we stayed with my aunt for like a week. After we stayed with her for a week, they separated my sisters from us. So me and my brother was always together through foster care, and my two sisters was together through foster care.
Okay.
And as years went on, I think I was about 5, 6 when we went into foster care. The first family that we lived with, they lived in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We stayed with them for about a year, and then we wound up being shipped to Chester, where we stayed in
Georgia?
Chester, Pennsylvania.
Okay, that's fine.
Yep, so we resided in Chester from, I was about 7 to up until about the age of 13. And with this family that me and my brother was placed with, they was very strict and disciplined, and I say some of that may have be part of like what brought me up today to be the respectful man that I am, even though my mom taught us respect, intelligence, and to be smart and well-mannered. But with the father of this foster family, his name was Richard. I remember that. And basically, he used to beat us, me and my brother, whenever we did something wrong.
Right.
But the type of whooping that he would give, you would think it was abuse.
What kind of whooping was that? Old school?
It was old school with twitches and belts, but as years went on, and my brother, he was 2 years older than me, so he was about 15, 16 at the time. And my brother just got tired of him putting his hands on us, and he took action and they started fighting.
When your brother was 15?
Yeah.
Okay.
he took action and they started fighting. And it became an issue because they didn't fight one time, they fought a couple times.
Wow.
So as they fought, things got worse and worse, and we wound up being placed with a family in Delaware, which was a lot more settled. We had 2 other foster brothers that was around our age,
Okay.
which was a plus because we all just hung out together and we dated girls together, did a couple different things together.
Okay.
Through hanging with them, I wound up in some juvenile trouble.
Like what?
Well, one Sunday afternoon, we decided to get dropped off at the mall. Foster parent, her name was Brenda. She dropped us off at the mall. Me, my brother Larry, my 2 foster brothers, their name was Awan and Mookie. And we go to the mall. Yes, his name was Mookie.
What you do? You know his real name?
His real name, oh my God, what was my foster?
Wow.
That's
You
bad.
just
That's
don't know
bad
Mookie.
because
Okay. All right,
he did have a real name.
Okay.
But we called him Mookie, and
Right.
it's bad that I really can't think back right now.
That's cool.
What was his real name?
Right. That's cool.
But we all, and Mookie was deaf.
Wow.
Mookie was deaf.
Now, was
But
he a foster child to them, or was he there?
No, that was her biological children.
Okay.
Yeah. And she also had a daughter too. Her
Okay.
name was T, but her daughter had lived around the corner, got married.
Okay.
Real nice girl.
All right.
And
So it was
so
trouble.
the mall situation.
Uh-huh.
So we, strolling through the mall. It was 2 guys and a girl. The guy looked at my brother, but at the time, my foster brother and my brother, my oldest brother, they was always the troublesome one.
All right.
So they had words. We actually followed them out the mall, and they wound up robbing the 2 guys. And what did they get? They got 2 gold chains. I think a couple credit cards, their ID, and they both probably had like $100 apiece.
Right.
And no sooner than we did that, they actually did the sticking up. We was just there, me and the deaf brother, which is Mookie, was just there in conspiracy with them because when everything happened, we was running with them because it's like, that's my brother, I gotta roll out with my brother.
Right. Y'all wasn't watchmen?
No, nobody was a watchman.
Okay,
And I say it was a stupid move because you inside a mall parking lot where there's cameras around everywhere,
Yeah.
security everywhere.
Yeah.
So it was a very stupid move, but at the time, we was young and dumb.
Yeah. Like a lot of teenagers today, not thinking of all of those common sensible things. Wow.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. So that was the breaking point that caused y'all to have to leave that place, go back.
Actually, no, what happened was, we went through court like it was like a year thing. Like we preliminary hearing,
Right.
couple court hearing. So they was really pressing charges against us. So we all wound up having to do some time. And what happened was they sent me to juvenile. My brother, they all went to juvenile except for Mookie because he was the oldest. And I did about 6 months.
Okay. What was that like for you?
6 months of no freedom.
Right.
So it was kind of cool because like all the dudes was around my age, so we had a lot in common, a lot to talk about. We worked out, we played football.
Right.
It was like a couple different activities and stuff. So It was bad because it's like you on lockdown, you can't get out, you can only make phone calls at this certain time. So having your freedom taken away is like, it's like murder.
Wow. So at this age, you were how?
31.
No, back then.
Oh, back then I was 15
15 years old. And you were still staying in Delaware.
in Delaware.
Okay. So what caused you to leave from that location?
Well, what happened was when DHS got a hold of it, they felt as though the home that I was staying at wasn't fit. So they decided to...
Did they say why?
By me getting in trouble.
Right. So here the system was trying to put you in different families, you and your brother, in different families to give you all a better life. But because what do you think it was that caused y'all not to be stable, to have to keep moving? What was going on in your mind? Do you recall?
Well, basically, with the first family, I really, because I was too young back then to really understand.
Right.
Like, I didn't understand why they shipped us from Philadelphia to Chester, Pennsylvania. Like, I didn't understand that.
Right. But in Delaware, you knew now. You knew what you were doing.
I knew.
You knew
exactly
why they were having you to leave.
And it was a good home. Like, it
Right.
was a good home. She always made sure we never had to put up with any abusive situations. She always, like, she took good care of us.
Right,
She
right.
made sure we always had, and whatever we wanted to do, she made sure that
So
we
you
was
had a
able-
good thing.
Yes.
You was too young to appreciate it, value it.
Well, it wasn't more so me because we was in conspiracy
Right.
by being associated with the situation that happened and
What situation?
the robbery.
Right, okay.
We was just in conspiracy. Like, I'm standing there, I'm with you, I'm
Right.
running with you,
Right,
so
right.
I gotta pay the consequences
Right,
too.
right. Okay. So then that's when the agency decided to come in, Child Protective Service decided to move you all. What happened after that?
After that, they came and picked me up from the juvenile center.
Okay.
They shipped me to a boys' home, and I was in there for about a year. And that was located in Pennsylvania, but I'm trying to think what part. I can't think what part of Pennsylvania right now, but it was called Northern Boys Home. I do remember that.
Okay.
And I stayed there until I was 16. And once I turned 16, my DHS worker, she came to pick me up from there, and they was going to ship me to Connecticut. And I lied to her, and I actually told her, I took her down to the projects that was not too far from the projects that I used to live in. So I actually took her down there, and I lied to her and told her we need to stop here so I could get my clothes, so when y'all ship me to Connecticut, I could have some clothes to wear. So she was being nice, and she took me down there.
Okay.
And we got out the car, we started walking through the project. And when we got about halfway through the project, and I knew her car was a little ways away, I ran.
Wow.
And I ran, and I never looked back, and I kept running and running and running until I made it to the
Forrest Gump.
projects. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Until I made it to the projects where she didn't know where I actually was at.
Okay. So now, where was your brother during this time?
At this time, he was out. He was over 18.
Okay.
And he was free to basically do whatever, because once you're 18, they
Yeah,
take you out the system.
Right.
So, my brother's always troublesome, so he lives a hustle life.
Right.
And that's the way he make his money.
As a hustler.
Yeah.
Okay. Still to this day.
Well, right now he's locked up, so he can't do nothing.
Wow. How long has he been in jail?
He been locked up for at least 2 years now.
Okay, okay. So his whole life pretty much has been being a hustler and in and out of the penal system.
Yeah, yeah. He have good things for him because like a year before he got locked up, he got married and his wife. He got 2 kids.
Okay. Okay, okay.
And then she has another child, so they got 3 kids. You
So
might
your
as well
brother's
say.
33.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. You you went through all of that in Chester, then Delaware, and then after Delaware, you were placed back in the well, they were about to ship you to
To Connecticut,
Connecticut.
till I turned 18.
right, but then you took a run for it.
Yeah.
What happened after that? I mean, I actually can see this. I visualize. I can see this. I can see you and her, this nice lady, taking you so you can get your clothes.
And she was real sweet.
Real sweet, nice lady. Take you so you can get your clothes, and then you go and buck through the hood. Was she white or black?
She was a black lady.
She was a black lady?
Yeah.
Well, she probably scared of the hood too, though, on the project.
Yeah, because she was more like uppity.
Right,
Like she,
right,
you
yeah.
know, she never,
Right.
you could tell she never been to the hood.
Yeah, so now she goes, so what happens when you go running? What's the next thing you hear? You hear nothing else? Are they
Well,
looking for you, or
I knew they was looking for me.
right,
So I laid low. I wouldn't go to school. Didn't get no jobs in my name.
right.
And
Wow, you was thinking.
yeah, because I knew that anything I did, my social security number, my name,
Right.
they was going to come get me. Because I knew that most likely they put a warrant out for me, being as though I belonged to the system and I ran away from it.
Okay, okay.
So my way of surviving,
Yeah, what did you do after that?
my brother, he always made sure I had, and then my sister, she always took care of me. Like, she basically took me in as like her child.
Okay,
But of course, me being a man, and at the time, me having to grow up and think wise, like, you was grown, you need to do things for yourself, I decided to work under my brother's name, being as though at the time, it was easy to just go to a job and apply, get them a social security number where you ain't need no ID.
right,
You needed your birth certificate
Right.
and a social security card, but he had all that information, so I just took that. And my first job under his name was at Popeyes.
Popeye's chicken.
Yep.
Okay, okay. So they didn't require no picture ID, just a social security card
Yep.
and your birth certificate.
Yep, 'cause
you
it
got
was-
the job.
Yep. And it was easy back then to go to a check cashing place and cash a check, because they just called a job and verified that you was the person cashing this check,
Right.
and they'll give you a check cashing ID.
Right,
So I did. That was my way of having a piece of ID in his name.
right. Wow. How long did you do this?
I did that up until I was
Till
18.
Okay. And then when you turn 18, now have you ever heard anything about them looking for you, or once you went on the low, underground, that was it? Nothing else? You heard nothing else?
Nothing else. Because I knew once I turned 18, the warrant would be dropped.
Right.
And it was nothing that they could do.
Okay. So age 8, that was it. Nothing else. You heard nothing else.
Nothing else. Because I knew once I turned 18, the warrant would be dropped.
Right.
And it was nothing that they could do.
Okay. So age 18, still living with your sister?
Yep.
Okay. Working at Popeyes.
Yep.
Then on to 19.
On to 19, I started working at a gas station, and the gas station that I worked at was because of this guy that I met. And the guy that I met, he actually had hooked me up with the job.
Right.
So, and he also put me in the room. So I moved out of my sister's house, and that only worked out for about a year. And it only worked out for a year because at the time, it was a whole lot of stealing going on at the job.
Right.
And me being young and dumb,
Right.
corporate manager came in. I was fine. They fired the guy that hired me.
Uh-huh.
I was fine up for like 2 weeks until the corporate guy pressed my buttons.
Uh-huh.
And he was saying something about people doing this and people doing that. So I said, people doing what? And he was like, stealing or something. And I said to him, well, if you think I'm stealing or whatever, you could get rid of me. And you know what he told me? He said, clock out and don't ever come back here again.
19 years old.
19.
Were you surprised?
No, because
I mean, what did you expect? You already told me. You put
and,
it out there,
and he was from corporate.
see, you was buffing and big man, and he was from corporate. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Wow. So what is it that's like when you're 17, 18, 19, what you wasn't thinking? You didn't need this job enough. You wasn't thinking like, let me zip it, keep my mouth closed. It's my money.
I ain't think nothing of it.
Mm-hmm. Wow, I see this thing so much even yet today, man. Now you had, okay, so your parents, you stayed distant from your parents?
No, actually, when I came back to Philadelphia,
Okay.
me and my parents, we still was close. At the time, my dad was locked up. He was locked up because he had a warrant from like years ago. Something he did years ago.
Right.
Because he also was into the hustling game.
Right. And what was that hustle?
Selling drugs.
Okay. So your dad, and that was your brother's hustle as well?
Yeah.
Okay. So now your dad's in jail. And
Me and mom, we always like grew close and we grew closer.
okay.
Cause it made me strong because I knew that if they had it their way, we wouldn't have been in the system. Cause they would come and get us on visits and take us places, buy us stuff. It was just that my aunt felt as though it was wrong.
Okay. So they kept in contact with y'all wherever y'all were. We're in Chester.
Yes, Chester, Delaware.
In Delaware,
was
so
always in contact.
they were close. Those cities were close in proximity to each other.
Yeah.
Okay. That was good. That's good. So you said that you have other siblings that your parents had after y'all was in the system.
Yeah. I have 2 sisters and a brother after me, Latifah, LaShonda, and Fred, and they about grown now. They probably in their early 20s.
Where are they?
They actually, my mom actually signed the papers for them to get adopted.
Wow. She didn't feel like she could handle it.
Well, at the time, she was still doing her enjoying life, and she just, no, she couldn't handle it. They did keep them for a couple years, but then after that, she just like gave them up.
Did your mother ever get any help for what she's been dealing with, or she just remained just the same?
I say my mom, she remained basically the same, because it's like it always been her. Like, she knew when she didn't want to be bothered with it, and then she knew when she wanted to. So it was like, I want to do it today, but I'm going to chill this week.
Where's your mom right now?
My mom passed away 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And
How did she die?
She passed away at her. She was 52 when she passed away. She passed away from cancer.
Wow. Okay.
And what happened with that situation was she didn't even know. It was like 3 years ago. 3 years ago, she went to Atlantic City, and she got stung by a bee. And when she got stung by a bee, she didn't think nothing of it, and her back started aching. So she went to the doctors and they ran some tests on her. And when they ran the test, it came back that she had cancer. She told us that she had breast cancer, but come to find out, from like when they did everything, she actually had throat cancer.
Wow. You think that's because of the drugs?
No, cancer typically run in my family on both sides, on my father's side and on my mother's side, because her mother passed away from cancer.
So she didn't know, or she just told y'all that?
She told us that because I don't think she wanted us to worry.
Right.
And at the time, we didn't know that she was really, really getting sick. Because, like, I don't think I would have moved to Atlanta if I knew that she was getting really, really sick.
Right.
I think I would have stayed up there just to take care of her. And she kept saying that she was doing fine, and she was like, move to Atlanta. She was like, move. Because at the time when she found out, we was making plans to move to Atlanta. And it was just like, she was like, go, go. So we moved, and then that's when she became sicker.
Right.
And my niece went up there to take care of her. And one day, I was at work.
Right.
And I knew my mom was sick and in the hospital. I was at work, and I went on my break. And I had a message on my phone from my sister telling me, you need to come to Philadelphia and you need to come as soon as possible. So I got in contact with my father, and he flew me up to Philadelphia that same day. Like, I left work, had to call, take a leave of absence, because I was actually out of work for like 2 months and a half. Just to spend that last time with my mom before she passed. So when they were saying she was going to pass right away, and this might be it because her breathing and everything started changing, she actually held on for like 2 months and a half before she actually passed away.
Wow. And where was your dad during this time?
My dad, he was there. He was there the whole time, making sure that, you know, my mother was fine and everything.
Where is he now?
Right now, my dad then got remarried. He's still in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I have, well, actually, I got 2 half-brothers from him. I have a brother that lives in Jersey, and he should be he's in his early 20s. And then my baby brother, he's about 7 now.
How did that make you feel? I mean, it's a good thing to know that you actually was able to spend those times with her. Were there any special moments that you had with her during those 2 months?
We had a lot of special moments because I was at the point where I was ready to come back home. And
Right.
I was like, Mom, come on, we're going to take you back with me. And she kept, it's like she knew. Because she was like, she said, I'm going to be a big responsibility. She was like, you're going to have to take care of me. How you going to go out and party? She was like, you could just come see me every 6 months. And at the time, it didn't dawn on she was like, you could just come every 6 months or at least once a year. And at the time, it didn't dawn on me that she was talking about, you know, this is it, basically.
Right. So, your other sisters and brothers, they're doing okay?
Yeah, they doing good.
It's been 3 years now.
Yeah, they are. Everybody's holding up. We miss our mother.
Are y'all connected? Do y'all stay in touch with each
Yeah,
other?
we all connected.
Okay. You stay in touch with your dad?
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. You said party. She wanted you to be able to party.
Yeah, it's because she know I like to hit the streets and go
like
to the club.
Okay. Well, tell me about that side of you, that Reggie side of you, that the man you are now, that was your coming up. Who are you now? What do you like? What do you do? What moves you? What inspires you? What are you involved with? Who's Reggie now, today?
Reggie today is a up and coming, I would say, entrepreneur slash still working 9 to 5.
Okay.
But
Still working on the what?
working 9 to 5.
Okay. Working 9 to 5.
Working 9 to 5.
Okay.
So right now, Reggie is a perishable assistant at Target. Been with Target for 5 years.
Okay.
He's furthering his education to start a new career in medical billing and coding.
Okay.
And the entrepreneur side of him is he's rolling back into his modeling thing, and he want to do print, but also work with KPO production and teach me some acting skills, whereas though I could cross over to acting too.
Okay. Okay. I noticed that you are a very creative, very unique individual. You are confident and expressive in who you are. You can tell that through your pictures, your Facebook pictures. You can tell that through your haircut and everything. Where did this come from?
Actually, what inspired me about this here
Right.
was, like, every year I have a partner,
Okay.
and every year I do something crazy for his birthday.
Okay.
So if it's not creating a pair of sneakers, I may do something with my hair. And his last name is Webb, so I decided to get the Webb and keep my mohawk. Yeah.
How does he feel about that?
He love it.
Okay. Okay. That's a big statement of adoration towards somebody.
Yeah, that's true.
Because that's your story that you tell to everybody when they ask you about your hair, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what you said when you were with your foster brothers years ago, that y'all used to do a lot of stuff together, go out and date girls and everything. What happened in your life that has brought you now to this place that you went from dating girls to you have a partner?
Well, actually, I knew back then when I turned about 14, 15, I realized that I was attracted to other guys. I did have like little encounters in elementary school and like growing up through high school where I didn't look at it like that then, but now I look at it now. Where one time in recess, it was me and one of my friends. His name was Sylvan.
Okay.
And at the time we was in 5th grade. And one recess, we used to play catch a girl, get a girl.
Right.
But one recess, we went into the bathroom together.
Right.
And we went to the bathroom, and he just started touching me. So we started touching each other, and we did, like the little dry hump that we used to call freaking. You still got your clothes up, but
Right.
y'all bumping and grinding.
Touching you where?
Just touching me everywhere.
Okay.
Everywhere.
Okay. 5th grade.
Yep. And we did a little bump and grind, and then we headed back out before the bell rang. And like I kind of knew, but I try not to react on it.
Right.
And in high school, it was this guy. He used to mess with me all the time. And I used to be like, why do he bother me, change my name, call me Oregano? But the whole thing
Oregano?
behind that, yes. He switched Reginald into Oregano.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And then one time it was regional.
Right.
But, like...
We always remember the names people call us.
Yes.
Right.
And we went to school through middle school up into high school. And in high school, he came after me. And
In high school, you came what?
he came after me.
Off the what?
After me. Well, he came he asked me what was up.
Right.
And I'm like, what's up?
You
And
said he came off to you?
Yes.
That's okay. So I'm not familiar with that terminology.
Oh,
What does that
well,
mean?
he was
He
flirting
approached you?
with,
Okay.
yeah,
he flirted with
approaching
you.
me.
Okay, I got you. Off to me. Okay.
So he was like, what's up or whatever. And I'm like, what's up? And we exchanged numbers and we talked, and the question I had to ask him, I said, so that's why you was bothering me for so many years, is because you had liked me?
Right.
And he said, yeah.
Wow. So he was bullying you. I mean, he was not bullying you. He was just taunting you, playing.
And that was the guy that all the girls wanted.
Wow.
And he actually came off to me, and I think we probably like hung out and, you know, did a little something like 2 or 3 times, but after that it was just like a phase and over it.
Alright, okay. So where are you now? I know you have heard spiritually, religiously, or biblically speaking, that lifestyle of being gay, homosexual, lesbian, gay, whatever, is wrong. You know, and I know that you are. So where do you stand on that?
Where I stand is,
And in your relationship with God.
where I stand is, I mean, people may look at it as wrong, but it's not something, and I tell people all the time because they want to know how or why, and I let them know, it's not something that happens overnight. It's something that you know, that you was attracted to the same sex. And it's not like you wake up and say, I'm going to be gay. It's just something that happens. I guess it's tendencies that we have.
Sometimes people say it's because they grew up in a single mother environment, single parent mother home. But you grew up in a home where the father was always there,
Right.
right? So it wasn't that for you.
No. But then, when a parent has so many kids and it's that middle child, they say somebody out that family is going to wind up gay.
Right. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. And why is that?
I don't know. I still haven't yet found the myth or why does that happen, but they say like a large family, somewhere in that middle.
The father was always there,
Right.
right? So it wasn't that for you.
No. But then, when a parent has so many kids and it's that middle child, they say somebody out that family is going to wind up gay.
Right. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. And why is that?
I don't know. I still haven't yet found the myth or why does that happen, but they say like a large family, somewhere in that middle, one of the kids going to turn out to be gay.
So you feel in your family it was you?
It's me.
Yeah, you know it's okay. So you're the only one in your
That I know of, yes.
Do they know about you?
Yes.
Okay. Do your dad know about you?
Yes. And they all embrace it. They all embrace it because they feel as though no matter what, you my brother, my child,
Right.
and my love is not going to change for you, whether you gay, straight, anything.
Where's your relationship with God? What is your relationship with God?
My relationship with God is I believe in God. I trust and believe. I pray to Him. And God has brought me a long way. He got me through tough struggles.
So you feel you have a close relationship with God or an intimate relationship with God?
Yes, I feel as though.
Okay. Do you attend any church?
Yes, I do.
What church do you attend?
Tabernacle.
Tabernacle?
Yes, I know I'm saying it wrong.
Okay, no, that's good. No.
Excuse my word.
I was just trying to make sure.
No, you said it right.
Okay.
I said it wrong.
All right, okay. So, Tabernacle, and that's in Atlanta.
Yes.
Where is that in Atlanta?
It's located off of Moreland. They used to be on Boulevard, but I never been to that location on Boulevard.
Okay, okay. And so your attending church, your relationship with God is strengthened by going to this church?
Yes, it's strengthened. It's educational too because I never been to like a all gay church where the pastor is gay.
Something should be said in a way that ends this charades and the homophobia that comes from so many African American pulpits. I myself am a gay bisexual man, and I came out to my congregation. I understand it is a process.
Wow.
He was married, but
To a lady or man?
he was married to a lady.
Okay.
And
While he
now,
was pastoring?
yeah.
Okay.
And now I don't know if they engage. I don't know because I don't want to pass judgment on them, but they together, and I guess he's like, his partner is like the man lady of the church. I don't know. Excuse me. I mean,
No. And I'm not laughing from that aspect. It's because you're trying to figure out what to call it. Yeah, so definitely not from, the...
Because I can't say the first lady because he's not a lady.
Right. Yeah, so when you said it like that,
The first man of the church.
Okay, I have no idea. That's why we're interviewing, and that's why because one of the things too, this is where I stand with a lot of things. I could believe differently from someone. The ministry of this platform here and the hope of this platform is that everybody has a story, and if we are so gun-ho on constantly telling everyone, we're never listening. So therefore, if you're never listening, then you're never learning. And if you're never learning, then you don't know how to be effective, I just know that Christ that I served loved everybody, and he reached out to everybody. And so in that, I'm hoping that as we do this talk show, as we share this platform, that it will allow anybody wherever they come, whatever background they come from, religiously, sexually, financially, and there's so many different stories. I may have a different view from whoever I'm talking to, but I'm wanting to hear your thoughts, your story, what brought you to where you are. Because I believe that everybody's story represents somebody else's story. Everybody's voice, your voice represents somebody else's voice. And so actually by you sharing and talking and just being real, it allows somebody else to, feel comfortable in their skin, be real. And if they are to change, I believe change on any level comes first after somebody know they've been loved and accepted for who they are. But for where you are, so and I said all that in reference to to let it be known I wasn't making fun at. I know you weren't making fun at it. You don't know the name.
No, I was just trying to figure it out.
I'm still, yeah. And so, but what happens though is that every time I interview somebody, every time I talk to somebody, I'm constantly learning something. My eyes are constantly being open, and I think that that's what happens when we share, when we talk. It happens every day at the barber shop, beauty shop. People just talking, and you constantly learning stuff. You learn, don't go down that street that way, because let me tell you, whatever, So I'm glad I heard that. I was in this conversation with y'all. I won't do that, And so it's just things like that. So man, from what you have dealt with, from where you've come from, the things you've gone through, the different shifts your life has taken. It's always easy for somebody to be judgmental on the outside, when they just see somebody. Because like when somebody just sees somebody, they don't understand their story. They don't know their story. They don't know their history. They don't know their experiences.
Right.
And they make judgment calls.
And that's why they say don't judge a book by its cover,
don't judge a book by its
don't know.
Yeah. And so But when you start sitting and talking to somebody, and you get to hear, wow, you went through that, you dealt with that. You know, maybe that's why you're pushing to find yourself that way. Maybe that's why you are expressing yourself that way. Maybe that's why you compensate on this way. We never know why. To you, man, you have vision, you have dreams, you have ambitions that you are striving for. You know, continue to keep close personal relationship with God. You know, continue to trust in Him. You know, continue to stay close to your family and their support. You know, that's important. And just believe in yourself. Continue to put yourself in places that's going to be productive for you. And with your kind of tenacity, you know, I see great things happening for you. I see, you know, great people coming into your presence and you going into their presence. And just some great things happening for you. Do not give up your fight. Don't give up pushing to see what you desire to come into manifestation. You did not go through everything you've gone through and come out of it, survived it, you know, with still a mind to want to do good. Sometimes people go through stuff and they feel low about themselves. They don't want to do nothing, you know, or they feel because I come from this kind of past. But I say to you, keep pressing, keep pushing. What would you say to somebody, some young person, who's dealing with something you've dealt with or dealing with? What would you say to them to encourage them to have this mind that you have, which is to keep pursuing and keep going after your dream?
Well, basically, my words to like a younger person that's going through a lot is basically I'll give them basically the same format that was given to me.
Right.
I would tell them basically keep your head up, stay focused, finish school, get your education, and in the meantime think about what you want to do, because basically I have did a couple things like far as school, and am I in that place now? No. I'm trying to like do other things, so you never know when you're young exactly what you want to do until you actually go out and experience the things. And I would just tell the young person, you know, keep your head up, pray, because that's always a plus, and God will see you through, because you may be down today, but you'll be up tomorrow.
And as we wrap up your story, I got two things I want you to answer about Reggie. What is that thing that you've done in your life that you are most regretful of, and that thing in your life you're most proud of? That thing in your life that you just wish you would not have done that, have gone that way. And then that thing that it just makes you proud of yourself that you actually did that, you accomplished that.
I would say getting into juvenile trouble is the worst thing that I have done in my life. And I regretted it because that was unlike me to be getting in trouble with the law, even though it was conspiracy and I was ride or die with my brothers.
Right.
But
and that's the mind frame of a lot of people today, though. You know, it's a ride or die thing, and it's like you in trouble, I'm in trouble too. It's like no one realizes their individuality.
But you realize it when you have this on your criminal background and you trying to get a job, and you 16, 17, and you out here trying to get a job, and this thing just keep popping up. So now it's making it hard for you to even get a job because you have something on your criminal record.
Right.
And like I can't say I regret doing that. At least it was juvenile and they got expunged.
Okay.
But I really regret it.
I was going to ask you about that. That's not affecting you now. You are going by your legal identity right now. All right,
Yes.
okay. We want to get that straight.
Yes.
All right. And that thing that you're proud of.
The thing that I'm proud of is just having a whole support system. Whether it's my family, friends, my Facebook friends, social media, just giving me that effort to push and strive and keep going to do more and more and more. And I really appreciate that.
Well, man, I just want to thank you for sharing your story, because this is your story. Nobody can take it away from you. That's your story. And may your story bring God glory, ultimately, and may your story bless others to see a greater life for themselves. All right?
Great.
All right, appreciate it.